And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. You can tell you what, appreciate you being here. Once again, it's the Gerald Glassford from the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every day, twice a day, wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, also as well, if you can go ahead and support us right there at LakersBall.com. Joe Soro, I know the guys are talking about what went wrong in today's game at LakersBall.com. Go ahead and check out what they're doing today at LakersBall.com. Plus, if you could subscribe, follow, or do whatever it is that you can to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, Game Source, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, of course, again, LakersBall.com. Also, as well, Stone Hansen and the crew, they're talking about what's going on today right there for you at the NBA draft at, of course, the Upside Swings NBA Draft Podcast. Plus, also, as well, you can go ahead and check out what he's doing today. That's UpsideSwings.com. And there you go. They'll tell you the latest news and notes for the Upside Swings podcast for everything going on with the NBA draft. And of course, Magic Man in the morning. He's got a great interview coming up this weekend. So go ahead and check it out tomorrow, right there for you, right there for Lakers weekend and Magic Man in the morning. Plus, also as well, Lakerholics.com. Absolutely know that Laker Tom and Jamie Sweet are both angry at each other and angry at the world right now, but they're telling you why at Lakerholics.com. Plus, our good friend John McCallion, go ahead and support him today at YouTube. Like and subscribe there. And again, like and subscribe here to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with every show that we do, because wherever the season takes us, whether it's one more game or plenty more than that, we'll be here for you right here at the Lakers Fast Break. But unfortunately, coming into game three, a crucial game three, you got to go ahead and finally give your props to Denver. No more excuses. No more woulda, coulda, shoulda. The Lakers tonight had a crucial game three that they had to win. And yes, the Lakers made mistakes defensively, breakdowns everywhere. Why we kept D'Angelo Russell in as long as we did, I will tell you to my dying day, I have no idea. Absolutely just could not believe that they kept him in as long as they did. Absolutely killed us on both ends of the floor. The crucial point with Nikola Jokic late in the third quarter, getting his fourth foul, you had an opportunity to take advantage by a long shot. But instead, you were only a +1 with him on the bench. And I thought that was a crucial victory for Denver right there. And even though the Lakers did pull ahead by 1 point with 7:48 left in the fourth quarter, unfortunately, they just absolutely sucked in all the bad energy they could, and unfortunately could not get it done as Denver came up with clutch shot after clutch shot after clutch shot, and the Lakers breakdown and mistakes and just could not get anything done. LeBron once again fell in love with the three way too much. Just many mistakes all around. But again, you got to credit Denver to going ahead and making the right moves down the stretch, and they win 119 to 108 to go ahead and pull out to a 3-0 series lead. And we all know the stats. We all have heard it before. No team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. We've heard it before. Will the Lakers do it? I'm not sure, but we'll certainly find out. We're here with you all the way. In the season of ups and downs, this is a down point for us. But again, what overall a good season for us indeed. But here today to talk about today's game, I've got two great guys so far here. When, like I said, just obviously just great to have them here. They were awesome part of our playback along with Laker Nick, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. It is Stone Hansen. And Stone, you've been here for us with the ups. You've been here for us with the downs. I truly appreciate it. Stone Hansen, Upside Swings NBA Draft Podcast. Your thoughts on today's game, all the mistakes that were made, and again, like I said, Denver, they got the job done.
Yeah. I mean, they just outplayed us. They played better. Um, it's unfortunate they're a better shooting team than the Warriors were. I think that's part of the reason we didn't change the philosophy of our defense as much as we probably should have. We had a lot of defensive breakdowns. Uh, the the coaching, I mean, was less than optimal. The three guard lineups were uh, abundant tonight. I don't even know. I would imagine the percentage of three guard lineups played was probably like over 30% of the game. I think that we had just issues all around, and it gets to a point, where it's the talent took us as far as it did, and it when they're as tired and as exhausted as they are, it could only get you so far. And I think that the Lakers are have met their match with this Nuggets team that's younger, that's just a better team in general. I mean, they've shown it this series, unfortunately, and yeah, we're- there's it's unfortunate because, there are times like once we made the playoffs, and especially once we beat that the Memphis series, I was like, maybe I didn't see it before, but I was like, maybe there's a chance we actually do go all the way. And maybe I got my hopes up a little too high in thinking that, because it sucks, that this is probably the end of us. But I'm pretty happy with what we did as a team to get to this point. Like, I think the front office made mistakes to not get us in a position where we could be in a championship run in a finals. But with the roster that we had, I think that this team really played well, and I think we did the best with what we had in this team for having played the amount that they did, and with the coaching, in my perspective of the how poor it's been, I think the roster has played really, really well. So credit to this roster, credit to the Nuggets. And yeah, it's unfortunate, but we'll see what we can do this summer to better our chances.
One thing I want to say again, when it comes to the Lakers, and I'm just gonna say this quite honestly. We talked about when it comes to the Lakers and this up and down season, a lot of the blame we put on Ham for quite a bit of this time. I thought he was really turning around at that game in Minnesota late in the season that they won. He made adjustments, and I really saw his coaching style and his coaching decisions get a little bit better game and game after that. You lead into the playoffs, and he made adjustments on the fly that really started to work. Unfortunately, today's game, we saw Ham revert back to the mismanagement that we've seen for a good part of the season, primarily having D'Angelo in there for an extended period of time. If you, I, Sean, and many others can see that D'Angelo Russell is just not working, uh, why can't Darvin Ham see it the same way?
Um, I do want to say that I've been very critical of him throughout this season. I think much of it's been warranted, and I think that he has improved as a coach. I want to give him that credit. I think from where he was in the beginning of the season to where he is now, I think he's improved, especially rotationally. Obviously not tonight, but just in general. If you take the last 20 games that we've played as a team, as opposed to, um, the 10 or 20 in the middle of the season, I think he's vastly improved in that regard. But ultimately, I do not believe Darvin Ham is a good coach, and I think that that showed tonight. I also think there's an element of maybe the front office having input because they want a chance to keep D'Angelo Russell. Now, I disagree with that. I'll be on record by saying I disagree with that and think the team should come first in terms of what our best chances are at winning. But I don't think it's unlikely that the front office maybe had a meeting with him to tell them, like, you need to make sure that you play D'Lo an adequate amount because we want a chance to re-sign him this summer and keep him happy. So again, I disagree with that, but I don't think it's unlikely that that happened.
Once again, the Lakers unfortunately do lose tonight, 119 to 108 to fall down 3-0 series. I think Vando, if you keep him, it's only 4.5 million thereabouts for next year, so you can pick up his final year in his contract. And I think that Vando, for whatever he does and does not give you, as we saw tonight, I think that you still keep him for that cheap of a price to get someone who can at least be a rotational player for you. Whether or not you start him or put him off the bench, that's up to you. But again, 4.6 for a player like that, I think is well worth it. Again, major questions for the Lakers this summer. Do you sign D'Angelo? Do you re-sign Rui? Do you re-sign Malik Beasley just for having the contract around? Do you go ahead and how much do you spend on Austin Reeves? A lot of big questions, and hopefully, guy that's going to help us answer them. Good man indeed. He's the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to go ahead and join us for today's game. He's got a smile on his face. It is the Master Grice Theater host himself, Sean Grice. Good to have you here, Magic Man. I know you've got a big interview tomorrow with one of the Denver press, and you're going to go ahead and stick to it. And I appreciate you wanting to go ahead and stick to it. Your thoughts, though, on today's game? A lot of missed opportunities, a lot of mistakes on both the coaching and also behind the players as well. But you know what? Let's put it to it. When push comes to shove, as we saw Dennis Schroeder get shoved on more than one occasion, Denver just outflat. They just outright beat us.
Yes, they did. They were, Gerald. Despite what happened in game one and game two, it just when you look at the stats at the end of all three games, it's just Denver's just been a little bit better. They've been a little bit better at shooting. They've been a little bit better at taking care of the ball. They've been a little bit better at rotational assignments defensively. They've been a little bit better at just across the board. I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here.
You do it. You go ahead, man. Knock yourself out.
Sure. So, Coach Ham made a lot of improvements over the course of the year, and they really showed in the playoffs because he pulled some rabbits out of his hat I didn't even know that were there. However, I still have a problem with his rotations and Gerald. All the signs, and you don't need analytics to show you that D'Lo was just getting murdered out there. He was just a chalk.
Not in this, just in this game, in this
In
series.
the series. Yeah, Denver has just outlined him on chalk on a whiteboard just to kill him in every possible scenario. And even though he only played 20 minutes tonight, it was a bad 20 minutes. And it was 20 minutes that lost us the game. He should be going to uh a D'Lo, Austin, LeBron, Rui, AD starting five. And unfortunately he kept sticking with D'Lo, and it's to our detriment because as Kevin Pelton pointed out on Twitter, even though the Lakers front office might be concerned about D'Lo's mood about coming off the bench, they were cutting off their nose to spite their face by continuing to play him because it's going to cost them the series and ultimately cost us in game three. And we want to welcome in our good friend Lee. Lee, how you doing tonight?
The game.
I think we're still. Yeah, all right, Lee. So, what were your thoughts on the game? Unfortunately, Murray just kept up his hot pace. Lee, through that first half, I'll just give you one statistic. In 10 quarters against the Lakers, up until the first half in Game 3, he had 94 points on 88 shots.
Yeah. They had the look of a championship team. I mean, they came in at the beginning of that game, and it was like, you know what? We know the Lakers want this, and we know the crowd's ready, but we're not going to even let them get into it. We come in attack mode. They were in attack mode, and I mean, you give Murray all the credit. He got them rolling. He knocked down some tough shots. And you can't do nothing but tip your hat to somebody when they come out, as hot as he was the fourth quarter and the first quarter. He was the best player on the court, and he dominated the play. So I don't think the Lakers played bad defense. I mean, that was just some very, very high level offense. And when, the saying is good offense, trumps good defense anytime. As far as your point about D'Lo, I mean, Ham's in a rock and a hard place. I mean, you got to play him, you got to start him, and you got to hope he shows up and get hot, and hit 3 or 4 threes or something. But to take him out, I mean, I think you're surrendering then. I mean, because you just don't have enough other players, unless you're going to maybe start a Beasley. Now that may be something different. As you say, okay, if I'm gonna bench him, we got to put in somebody who may hit the threes, and maybe that's Beasley. You give him a shot, but I mean, bottom line is you got to put the players in. They got to play. D'Lo in that one stretch, was that the fourth or the third quarter? I don't know, where he missed the three, and they got the offensive rebound. He had another three. I mean,
Yeah, third quarter. It was third quarter.
Yeah, they're waiting on him. That's his shot. That's something you gotta. And he just can't hit, and then he lost confidence. He started kind of pointing to other guys to do something to get open instead of him trying to be aggressive. So, but Denver's just proven to be a better team, like you said, in every phase. Not a major difference, but in every phase, it's the little thing. Bruce Brown is coming in; he's contributing every single game, defensive, offensive, rebounds. They got more guys that are contributing.
Again, a lot of situations that need to be rectified. Absolutely, indeed. Once again, the Lakers do fall 119 to 108. Lakers fall down to a 3-0 deficit in the series. Hopefully, we can rebound and get things done. Glad to have LRob here. LRob's been a great part of what we do here at the Lakers Fast Break. MagicMan Sean Grice as well. Please check out his awesome interview he has lined up. He'll tell you more about it before we go off the air. But Stone Hansen, again, Denver flat out beat us. But we didn't help, obviously missing the free throws, the amount of free throws at the line that we missed obviously didn't help us at all. Obviously, the mistakes that we made didn't help us at all. The bad decisions. I disagree with LRob in the fact that I would not have played D'Lo, or at least I would have pulled him a lot earlier. D'Lo's, again, he has that reputation, obviously coming out as a high draft pick. D'Lo's going to either win you a game like he did when he scored 30 plus points in the Grizzlies, or when he doesn't. You got to know when you just got to cut your losses and get someone in there. I do agree with LRob though on giving Malik Beasley a try. At this point, you're desperate. Your season's on the line. You got to do something differently to try and see if it works.
Yeah, I think.
Let me bring it, LRob. Go ahead.
Are you saying you would bench him? Is that what you're saying? You would?
I would have benched. I would have not played him at all. I would have not
Okay.
played D'Lo at all. Not even a minute, because they were searching out. If you saw in that first quarter, they were hunting D'Lo. Every screen on Vando was giving up on the screen and letting D'Lo guard Murray. They were hunting him, absolutely hunting him.
Okay.
Stone.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very anti Beasley since we got him, basically. But I think when it gets to
What are
a
you gonna do?
point,
Like LRob said, what are you gonna do? What do you have left?
yeah, so when it gets to a point of D'Lo being out there and not shooting, like I said last series, D'Lo in the past his role has been primary facilitator and balancing that with his scoring. On this team, there's no facilitating. It's a lot of point guard by committee, and there's no real lead facilitator. So that eliminates the value of a lot of what D'Lo is, and then you factor in the when he's not making his shots and the fact that he's a defensive liability. If he's not shooting, because he's not in that facilitator role, if he's not shooting, there's no value to be had with him, right? There's no value coming out of just shooting shots that aren't going in. So I would try different things. I would try Troy Brown Jr. I would try Malik Beasley. I would give other guys opportunities, because I don't think you can really get worse than what D'Lo's giving you if he's not really giving you anything on offense, because there's no value that he's giving you on defense. So I'd be trying these other guys, give Beasley 3 or 4 shots and see if something goes in. See if you can get Troy Brown Jr. in to make some momentum for you defensively. I'd be trying different minutes, trying giving different guys different minutes, because I think D'Lo was very much unvaluable, at least for this game, if not for this series.
Once again, the Lakers do fall 119 to 108. LRob's here, Sean Grice, Stone Hansen, but also here today, good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check out what he's doing at LakersBall.com. LakersBall.com, where you go ahead and have a great group of individuals going ahead and talking about nothing but Lakers, Lakers, Lakers. It is Joe Soro. Joe getting a drink, getting ready to, everybody's asking, I want a Stone Hansen rant. I want an LRob rant tonight. I want a MagicMan, Sean Grice rant. But you know what they also say? They want a Joe rant as well.
I'm sorry, folks, but there's nothing to rant about. I have a confession to make. I knew Denver was going to be a good team this year, and so did you, Gerald. Matter of fact, I knew they were going to be very good. And my Laker goggles talked myself into thinking that the Lakers were going to win this series. I didn't have any feeling that the Lakers were going to win this series. I have to admit that. It comes down to shot making, and you've heard me say that a few times. These 3 games were the epitome of that. They never made the shot that mattered. Now, you guys were talking about Darvin Ham and his stubbornness in playing D'Angelo Russell. I can't argue against that. There's just nothing to argue against. But sometimes in life, both people are right. And I believe this is one of those times. And the reason why it's one of those times is because Darvin Ham did not have a choice. This Laker team does not have a third guy that you can rely on to spell LeBron and AD. And everything comes from that. And everything comes from hoping and wishing that AD and LeBron can be in there just enough to win the close games, the blowouts, whatever. Problem is, Denver in 3 games never relented. They kept making the shot they needed to make. Jokic didn't do anything for a quarter. Jamal did. Jamal didn't do anything for 3 quarters. Jokic did. And if Jokic and Jamal weren't doing it, Porter was hitting threes. Brown was hitting threes. KCP was hitting shots. It never stopped. Someone always stepped up for Denver because they're focused. They've got youth. They've got, you know what, in vinegar. They got the MVP in my book. It's all put together the way you're supposed to when it comes to a title team. And unfortunately, the Lakers have a star that he's lost a step. LeBron would come into these kind of games and win it for you, and AD would do certain things. But how much can you expect AD to do? He's doing everything he can do. He doesn't have any rest. It was a recipe for a disaster, and this is the result. So that's my mini rant for the night.
LRob, let me bring it out back to you, my friend. Again, I think a crucial part of the game was when Nikola Jokic went out late in the 3rd quarter with 4 fouls. The Lakers had every opportunity to go ahead, and something that Denver's been having problems with all season is playing well when Jokic is out of the game. And the Lakers only ended up being a +1 during that span. And I thought that was going to be crucial for the Lakers. And unfortunately, it proved to be the case. The Lakers did in the 4th quarter pull out to a 1-point lead. But still, you just knew that wouldn't be enough because, again, that time without Jokic out on the floor, the Lakers should have taken more advantage.
Yeah, Denver has guys that's stepping up. KCP, like Joe said, KCP. I mean, when Murray didn't have it going, when Joker didn't have it going, then KCP would get in and hit 2 or 3 straight shots, or Bruce Brown would hit a deep 3 and sneak inside for a layup or a tip in. I mean, they have more guys playing. The Lakers, it's a lot of energy. It's mental energy as well when you're struggling uphill and when you're coming back uphill. So being down 2 games, that's a lot of pressure on you. And in game 3, you same thing. You're climbing uphill. Then you finally, catch them, and then they hit 4 or 5. Next thing you know, you're down 5 again, and then you miss an easy layup, and they hit a 3, and you're down 8. And you climb back, and it was just like rinse and repeat. The Lakers never could make a couple good plays, 3 or 4, to build momentum and get a little cushion. What was the biggest lead we had in the game? I don't know, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points.
Yeah.
In the second half, at least, it was never.
No, the second half, their
Never
largest lead was 1, I believe.
Okay, you can never really exhale, and that's credit to Denver. We can point to all the guys on the Lakers who didn't play well. But the bottom line is Denver is giving them very, very little margin of error. Denver is playing very well, and they're the better team so far. So hopefully the Lakers can come back, and maybe Denver will let up a little game, and the Lakers will be able to get one. But in the fourth quarter, in these games, all the games have been in, not really the first game as much, but the last 2 games have been in the balance, and we've looked like the tired team. Denver's a team that's still executing and still running their stuff, and they get better possessions and better shots. They got the guys they want, taking the shots they want when they want them, when the game matters. And usually we kind of are playing a little harried, and how many touches did AG really get in position in the fourth quarter? I don't think he was much of a factor in the fourth quarter.
Once again, that's the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do unfortunately lose 119-108. Sean, I bring it back to you, my friend. Again, do you see any answers for the Lakers at this point in time, my friend? You be realistic. We've always asked you and everybody else on this show, outside of Laker Tom, who, often goes into his own land in and of himself. But MagicMan, you've always hit it with us real. Your thoughts on what the Lakers can do, at least to start righting the ship little by little in Game 4.
You need to pull D'Angelo Russell out of the starting lineup. You need to insert Rui in there. Secondly, while Denver was making their shots and Murray was cooking, there still is this problem. They still have this problem. If you watch a defensive possession for the Lakers, most of the time when a shot goes up, they have 3 or 4 guys either below the free throw line or along the baseline, and only one guy is back in transition. Even if you're not shooting the ball well, they should still have at least 2 guys back there. They did it for a while, Gerald, during that little run they had after the trade deadline. But bad habits die hard, brother. And that habit is really bad for them. It was bad when Russ was on the squad, and it's bad now. And it started to rear its ugly head in the Golden State series, not so much against Memphis. And it's gotten perpetually worse with Denver. You've just got way too many guys below the free throw line, and you can't secure offensive rebounds, Gerald. Tonight was a little bit better, but we've seen it time and time again that this team just allows secondary and tertiary possessions because they can't defend the boards. How does that change? We are at a very bad height disadvantage in this series. That's reared its ugly head too. I think,
Well, how so? Because we're one of the biggest teams in the NBA after we made the trades. How are we that much of a advantage? We've gotten out rebounded. I think a lot of that is effort more than just height.
To be frank with you, Michael Porter Jr., okay, Aaron Gordon, big, burly men. Vanderbilt isn't burly, Gerald, and neither is AD. Hold on.
Well, when we put Rui,
neither is AD. Neither is AD.
Okay, but Rui, LeBron, and AD is not like chopped liver either.
No, they're not chopped liver, but it's not as if you're.
I'm just saying, you saw talk about this tremendous
Yeah,
size
I know.
advantage.
Yeah, well, I mean, Gerald, Michael Porter Jr. is 6'10", 260
Yeah,
pounds.
but he's as
Darren
soft as
Gordon is
tissue.
6'9", 240 pounds of solid muscle.
Gordon, I'll give you this tough. Come on, MPJ,
Yeah,
tough on the inside. Really,
yeah.
really, really.
No,
Great shooter,
but
but really,
physical presence nonetheless.
like tissue, he is
Yeah,
absolutely.
well, have we taken advantage of that problem this series? I don't think
No,
so.
because we don't have a player that's taking advantage of it.
Yes.
That's LeBron. That's
Ah,
your problem right there.
well, and Gerald, there's another team that's cooking up new ways of trying to get LeBron to exert as much energy as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, he played his ass off in the post in the second game, right?
Yeah.
For 3 quarters. But what happened in that fourth quarter? Murray just attacked him, man. He just saw a wounded elk, and like the wolf pack was just in on it. And what?
Yeah, there goes Joe. Joe's being Joe. Don't even worry about it. Finish up,
Yeah.
Sean. You're good.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm sorry. Just when you
Yeah.
said the wounded elk, I kept thinking of that Jack Black movie with Gwyneth Paltrow when he was talking about the hoof or whatever. Wounded animal.
Because Sean, with Joe, it always goes into a movie. So
Yeah, always. Hey, Joe, did you see the Revenant?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So guess what? When you get attacked by a bear, you don't live. It only happens in the movies.
Only Leonardo DiCaprio does. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I digress. But the point is that Denver's the bear in this situation. And we're in the ditch.
Yeah.
We're alive. We're barely alive, but we're still alive.
So let me ask you this, guys, before we head on out. And this is the last question I'm going to hit you guys up with. And it's 119 to 108 as the series takes the unfortunate turn for the Lakers down 3-0. We'll be back tomorrow. MagicMan has a great show lined up for you. Plus, obviously, what we're going to do as far as in advance for Game 4. Be here also as well for Game 4, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Joe, I'm going to start it off with you, my friend. Do you think that this matchup between the Lakers and the Nuggets is the toughest of all of them? Do you think that the Lakers and the Nuggets would have beaten either of those Eastern Conference teams?
Either the Celtics or the
Heat, yes.
I believe Denver's going to have such immense confidence that they're going to end up winning it all.
I agree.
And I just got called out by our panel here for switching, which I've admitted that I knew Denver was a problem.
I said Denver was the problem. I said they were the toughest.
I knew they were
you
good.
Said no.
We knew they were good from
you. I thought molasses. I think I heard the word molasses when it came to Murray.
Yeah. Molasses turned into Speedy Gonzalez. So I talked myself into believing that the Lakers could exert their will due to having AD and LeBron. But the problem now is LeBron can't do it anymore. He can't do it like he used to. And I think you guys are all like depressed and kind of being a little chidey, little kind of. I don't think we should be there. I mean, we're losing to the better team, and they're younger and they're more equipped and they're making shots, and we're not. It's that simple, guys. It's basketball. It's simple. You make shots, you win. You don't, it is what it is. Now, you can blame Darvin Ham for playing D'Lo, and you got merit there, but you don't have a choice. Who are you going to play? Vando? Vando can't shoot. You saw that corner three. I don't even know if it hit the rim. D'Lo missed back-to-back threes that at that moment I knew we were going to lose. Because, I mean, they were so wide open, I think I even would have been able to make it. So it's just not meant to be. I think we overachieved in this season beyond. Now, it's still a failure because you have AD and LeBron on your team. It's still a failure because they're supposed to win championships. But they overachieved. They weren't even supposed to make the playoffs. They made it to the Western Conference Finals. and they got beat by the better team. And that team is likely going to win the title. I know Miami's playing off the hook here, but Miami, should they beat Boston, which I think they will now, they'll have not played a team like like Denver. They're going to have to deal with a big who's really, really good, just like they had to deal with AD in 2020.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry. I seem to recall Miami knocking another big on his ass, and he couldn't come back for that series. But that's just me.
I'm sticking with my pick for the summer. I don't know what else to tell you.
LRob, let me ask you this, my friend. Again, the great series for the Denver Nuggets. They deserve all the kudos they can get so far. Obviously, leading 3-0. It isn't over yet, but we all know the odds. We're not going to be sit here and tell you differently. But I think that if you took the Lakers against the Celtics, I would still consider the Lakers be a better matchup for them, because we saw how well they played, even with Russell Westbrook and Beverly on the team, on the road at Boston and Miami. I still think they would be a better matchup against Jimmy Butler. But again,
Who
the Denver
who
Nuggets.
sto- who stops Jimmy Butler on the
Yeah,
Nuggets? Who
uh,
stops him?
that problem is who on the Heat stops Jokic and Murray. That's what I got
I,
questions
I,
for as well.
well, you know something, Gerald. Are you
Well,
gonna?
let me ask LRob this, because let me get LRob in here real quick, my friend. I apologize, but let me get LRob in. So your thoughts? Do you think this was the best matchup right now that we have? Do you think this, for all consideration, is the NBA Finals?
No. I don't know if the Lakers could beat either of those teams. I can't say that with certainty.
Mm-mm.
Denver, I can say that they could beat both the way they're playing now. The Lakers, I mean they're tough. They're good, but it's really really hard to flip your roster. And I thought the Lakers would win one series in the playoffs initially when it was going in. I just thought the cohesiveness, it would catch up to them. Like right now, you see little play. It's like split seconds where Vando flash in the lane. They can feed him real quick, and he can have an easy layup. But he's not there. He's flashing like a second late, and it throws the playoff. I mean,
Yeah,
stuff like that kills you in tightly contested games. When you're looking at Miami, those guys pretty much are executing. They may not win, but they're. It's not because their execution is off.
yeah.
And the same with Denver. So those two teams are executing at a higher level, which makes sense. I mean, they have more cohesion. They've been together. Boston, I don't know. I think they're just kind of full of themselves. So they didn't think they had to. They didn't realize how hard they would have to play to win these games. And now when they get into them, it's kind of hard to flip the switch and realize that, hey, these guys can beat us. So, you know what? Everybody talked about a Boston uh, Lakers possibility, and that would have been great. It hurt me when I heard Joe saying he would hope Boston get there. So, that's the only thing that's good about these playoffs right now. Is
Agreed, LRob.
watching Boston go down. So we'll both go down. So
yeah, it's that's the only
we'll lose to the champs probably, and
that's the silver lining here is
they'll lose
having,
to an 8 seed. So we'll have that over them.
I'll tell you right now, though, Stone Hansen, LRob, Joe Soro, MagicMan, great to have you here. I got to close out here in a couple minutes, but before I do, Stone, tell us what's going on with the Upside Swings NBA Draft podcast before we head on out.
Yeah, just continuing to crank out episodes. We're doing deep dives, international deep dives coming up. We just started our series and put out our first episode today of our 30 for 30 series that we do every year, where we talk to someone about one team in the NBA, their picks, and how they move forward. So, yeah, a lot of stuff happening over there.
Once again, it is UpsideSwings.com. Please go ahead and join Stone Hansen and the crew each and every time out. I'm going to go and next Friday, I think, not this coming Friday, but the next Friday, we'll just go ahead and schedule out, Stone, you and I, a one-on-one. We'll go ahead and talk about the draft, or maybe the guys involved in on it too, because I know that everybody is talking about what can happen for the Lakers in the NBA draft for the 17th, 47th pick. LRob has been fantastic on this show as always. You're going to catch him over the summer. As far as what's going on with everything going on with the Lakers, and especially with him, he'll be joining us for the Lakers Fast Break. I know he wants a rematch in Do You Know Your Lakers Trivia. I was going to send it to Sean because I know he has a special interview tomorrow, I believe, with one of the Denver press. I know he's got that schedule. I hope he gets back on to go ahead and set it up for us and go ahead and let us know what's going on before we head on out. But I guess he is not coming back. Joe, any last thoughts as well on what's going on? Do you see at least the Lakers getting a win on Monday?
No.
So you think it's going to be a clean sweep?
It's going to be a sweep. As soon as Denver goes on a 10-0 run, they're going to quit.
They haven't quit all season, Joe. The Lakers have not quit all season, so
no, but they're going to quit in a sense of like, what's the point of going through all this and still losing? It's not that kind of quitting. It's just they're going to run. They've run out of gas. They've just run out of gas, and fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Something you said that was not possible. So the fatigue part of it.
Yeah, it's a surprise, but at the same time, they've been those. If you watch the game tonight, you just kept seeing them dig and dig and dig and dig, and they'd get tied, and then they'd go on a 5-0 run. Denver would, and then they dig and dig and dig, and they finally took a 1-point lead. And then as soon as they got the 1-point lead, then it's just they got burnt. It's just you can't keep going uphill. And this is a 7th seed playing a 1 seed.
Yeah.
This is a 1 seed, guys. It's not just some team, right? And it's just not meant to be this year. It's just not meant to be. And they squeezed every drip of that water out of that rag. And at this point, LeBron James 2020 wins 2 of these 3 games. LeBron of 2023 doesn't. LeBron 2023 is a player who cannot play as much as he had this year. He can't.
Well,
he's got to be Tim Duncan in 2014. He has to be Tim Duncan. But the problem there is you have to get lucky and get Kawhi Leonard at 15 in a trade. That's kind of what the Lakers need right now. I'm scared of saying this, and I don't think it's going to happen anyways, but the Lakers are going to look at Kyrie Irving, because if you had, let's just hypothetically say this, okay? Let's just talk about it for a second, right? D'Lo makes $30 million a year, right? Right? Okay, so let's just say Kyrie is there instead of D'Lo. We probably win 2 of these 3 games with him. That becomes now an interesting conversation. It's just all I'm saying is the Lakers, and what's going to make it interesting is our show and the offseason, and especially Stone's side on this is we're going to have a lot of fun figuring out what the Lakers are going to do this summer. There's a lot of stuff, guys. There's a lot of stuff. And I'm not just saying that to, hey, guys, I'm teasing you to come watch the show. No, I'm serious. This summer could very well dictate what the Lakers are going to do championship-wise for the next 2 to 3 years. It's imperative that they figure something out there, and it's not at the pressure of, oh my God, what? No one's going to take Westbrook and no one's going to do that. Like, we don't have to worry about that this summer. This summer, it's a clean slate. Now, who do we get? Who do we have to sign because of the CBA? And how does that all kind of play out? That right there, I would say, is going to be the appealing part of the offseason once the finals are over. And I'm looking forward to it because I'm excited about the draft a little bit. I haven't been excited about the draft in a while. And do we trade the 17 and package, some guys? I don't know, but we're going to find out.
We're going to find out indeed, but I wanted to go ahead and mention before we go, Sean Grice, MagicMan, he's going to have a special interview again with a member of the Denver press. He's got that set up for tomorrow, Lakers weekend. It's going to be for 9 p.m. I believe it's Eastern. I'm getting the word now because Sean actually lost internet He's going to send me the message right now. I think it is 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll go ahead and mark it and schedule the interview out. We'll go ahead and schedule it for you for tomorrow. It is 9 Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. He's got a special guest coming on for Lakers weekend. And then, of course, Monday, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Join us for Game 4. And hopefully, obviously, we're looking forward to seeing if the Lakers can rebound in the series or at least get one. We'll find out what happens. We're going to have a lot to say this offseason. We're going to be here constantly here, bringing out the content as only we can. Stone and I on the NBA draft. LRob, again, with Do You Know Your Lakers Trivia, and anytime he wants to stop by for any one of the great shows that we do at the Lakers Fast Break, Joe's going to be here as well. So there's no counting. There's no doubt on that. So once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Lakers do lose 119-108 to fall 3 games this year, but we will be back tomorrow with Sean Grice, MagicMan. Hoping everybody will be cheering up by then. We're looking forward to a better Game 4, and we know you are as well. Best Lakers chat room that's out there and best Lakers post game that's out there can be found nowhere else than right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.
Just gotta talk to the boys out.